Yo, as many of you might know, piece control is the most overpowered skill in Fortnite. And even if I do not think that this is true, I will show you how to piece like a god if you follow the steps I will show you in this video. Let's get started. Before I can explain what actually makes you a good piecer and the best ways you can practice some moves, which I will show you later, you need to understand that the least discussed skill in Fortnite is knowing everything about the grid system. You know those moments when you get shot because you can't build a wall, or when it suddenly builds the wall at a complete opposite place. Therefore we need to master the grid system first, as it is a fundamental to master piece control thereupon. You can skip this with the timestamps down below if you think you already know this, but probably you do not. As we have 4 builds, we need to look at each one individually, and if we do so, we recognize that the floor has the shortest range, then comes the cone and the stair, which exactly have 1 box range, and at the end there is the wall, which you can even stay further than 1 box away. That's why pros always use cones to save themselves from falling. I recommend you to focus on the different ways you can build a wall, cone, stair or floor in your following games, and you will recognize that your awareness of where you can place builds has already increased. Some easy moves you can apply instantly only by knowing the grid system is the back wall or to block your opponent with a cone. If you've watched until here, I assume that you are interested in getting better in Fortnite. Therefore, I would recommend you to check out my channel, as I have over 50 videos in which I explain how to get better casually and competitively. Thanks a lot. Before I explain some easy and advanced moves, you need to understand the quintessence behind piece controlling. Why is this even necessary? The sine qua non is to make your fights end quicker and eventually get less damage in return. Therefore, hardening on only piecing as much as possible, opening stupid edits just for the sake of seeming flashy, is a waste of time, energy and potential. But more about it later in the video. For now, you need to manifest the mindset that piecing gives you an undeniably advantage whether you fight against good or bad players. The first, easiest and most applicable move is a double protection, which you can use when you are on the top of someone's box. When you have hit someone for a decent amount of damage, he's likely to box up in order to heal, but that's when the real fight starts. Everyone knows the move to place a stair and drop down on it to pickaxe the wall, but that's bad. Sometimes you might even place a floor and the cone so he cannot piece you, but that's still not the best attempt. The optimal move in this situation is to place a ramp on one side so he thinks you will drop. Then you place another 2 ramps on another side and cover them with a floor and a cone each. Then you place the last ramp. However, instead of covering it with a cone, you will place a stair, edit it the same way I do, and drop for the wall. This is good because he cannot piece you. Others know this as the term counterpiece, which I will explain closer in the last part of the video. And you can hide behind his wall if he makes a peanut butter peek. If he edits a window, you have a right shoulder peek, or if you decide to escape as he is boxing out, you can elevate yourself by 2 layers instantly by jumping, resetting the floor and stair, and start pressuring again. When going for a piece control move, many attempt to oversee that they themselves have to stay safe whilst doing so, and there are 2 ways that help you avoid being hit whilst piecing. First, be fast. That comes by practice and some experimenting. But the second way is more practical and easier to master, and this is to piece while standing covered behind a peak. As the window is one of the best right shoulder peaks in the game, you can also take advantage of it and use it to nearly full box your enemy. The left wall is empty, but we ignore this. And then from this point, you have nearly unlimited possibilities how you can continue a safe and probably quick fight. By the way, doing this piece with a peanut butter edit or this one is also possible. Just try out what works best for you. The beauty behind having many pieces of an opponent's box is that you can and have to use those pieces if you go further on in the fight. I see so many people making the grave mistake of just staying at one wall, in the worst case even going for the same peak try after try, even if they have the different walls, cones or floors. In this case, you really have unlimited possibilities. You can go up, place a missing floor and get this great right shoulder peek, or you drop down. Do not forget to counterpiece so he cannot cone you, and go for a right shoulder peek. There you can add the last wall if he hasn't escaped yet, or use the next tip if he is going downwards. By the way, if you struggle with editing in terms of speed and consider switching to edit on release on or off, you can check out this video in which I explain the pros and cons of both of them, as well as how everyone can get faster edits. However, if your opponent escapes through the bottom of his box, you can just simply catch him with a wall and the cone and basically do the same thing again. Piece him up behind a wall or finish the fight with a clean pump shot. Another tip you can often use in a fight is a double edit to catch your opponent off guard completely. When he is again boxing up and you're pressuring him, it often comes to the situation that he will box out to the back of his box, logically, as this is the furthest away from you. However, if you instantly, after sliding in a stair into his box, start tech sprinting, jumping on top of his box, out with a cone as this has the longest range, followed by a floor, as soon as it is possible for you to place, there is a high chance you might get both tiles above him. If you finish it off with a cone down in his initial box, followed by a clean right shoulder peek, there is little to no chance he will count it. Watch this clip from Reed, who got completely destroyed by Peterbot. That's it for the moves for now, as I think the following tips are way more important than just simply explaining other moves. However, if they have helped you and you have learned something, let me know in the comments if I should make a separate video on different moves, and smash that like button. Thanks bro. By now you have learned a lot of ways how you can piece your opponent, but there is one thing which cannot be ignored. Do not overdo it. If you're new to piecing, you're probably too busy right now to think about the smartest way to piece him instead of the possible and probably easiest way. Though the skill of piece controlling is not to do whatever you just think of, but to really focus and try your best to apply the most appropriate move for the situation. Sometimes just standing in front of your opponent's wall is better than wasting some mats. This, however, is a very advanced technique and therefore quite hard to get good at. 2 simple steps which will make this easier are: first of all, do never do the same move twice in a fight. This one is obvious as you will become predictable. And secondly, think about what the enemy is thinking and try to predict it with pre-fires or pre-pieces. This will help you to save mats and you will win a lot more fights by just focusing entirely on the brain game. For the end, I want to show you simple steps how you can make your game so much easier by just placing some single builds on specific positions. The first thing you can do when pressuring your enemy is to always, and I repeat this, always ensure an escape path if you engage into a box. There's nothing more frustrating than shooting someone until he is low on HP and then getting caught up in his boxes, dying, as he has every single edit and you are stuck. Especially in duos this is essential, as you cannot allow yourself to die. Another thing you can do is to always place 2 boxes when fighting. Even if this might not be established as piece control, creating more safe space for oneself is always better than getting pressured too heavily and dying. With that in mind, I hope you have learned something. If you want to get even better at the game, check out one of those videos or check out my channel. My name is MarinTM. Stay safe and take care. Nah, just joking. Enjoy your day if you're pussy, and check out my one-on-one coaching. First 3 clients are free. Link in info box. Peace out, bro.